Hello everyone. In this video we'll start solving questions from chapter 1 workbook from the chapter making measurement. Let's look at the first question. The times for 10 swings of a pendulum are measured. What is the average time for one swing? We have been given with three measurements. So the first measurement is 10.12, the second measurement is 10.48 and the third measurement is 10.24. So to find what is the average of one swing, we have to find what is the average of 10 swings. So let's figure out what is the average of 10 swings. So if I take the average for 10 swings, we have to find the sum of three measurements. So let's say 10.12 plus 10.48 plus 10.24 divided by the total number of measurements that have been made. That would be 3. So let's open up our calculators and let's try to solve this. So let's key in the data. So let's say we have 10.12 plus 10.48 plus 10.24. This will add up to 30.84. So this will be 30.84 divided by 3. So if I take what is 30.84 divided by 3, this would give us 10.28. So this will be equal to 10.28 seconds. So 10.28 seconds is the time taken for 10 oscillations. Now we have to determine what is the time taken for one oscillation. To find the time taken for one oscillation, we have to divide the time taken for 10 oscillations, the average time taken for 10 oscillations by 10. So let's write it down. So we'll write down time taken for one oscillation. So this will be equal to 10.28 divided by 10, and that will come out to be 1.028 seconds. So this will be the time taken for one oscillation. So the correct answer is option A. Alright, let's look at the second question. Which measuring instrument can be used to find the volume of a small stone? The stone is considered to be of irregular shape. So what we need is a partially filled cylindrical beaker. So once we completely immerse the stone, we can find what is the displaced volume of water, and that would be the volume of stone. The correct answer to this question will be option A. Let's look at the third question. A student uses a ruler to measure the length of a spring. His results are shown. 14.9 cm, 14.8 cm, 14.8 cm and 14.7 cm. What is the average length of the spring to three significant figures? Alright, let's first write down what is the average length. Here the average length will be total the sum of all the measurements divided by total number of measurements. So average length will be equal to 14.9 plus 14.8 plus 14.8 plus 14.7 divided by 4. Let's use our calculator. (14.9) plus 14.8 plus 14.8 plus 14.7. So the sum of all these will add up to 59.2 divided by 4. So 59.2 divided by 4 will be 14.8 centimeters. So let's write that down. So this will be equal to 14.8 centimeter. So that's option A. Let's look at the next question. Which measuring instrument is used to measure the diameter of a thin metal wire? To measure the diameter of a thin metal wire, we'll use a micrometer screw gauge. So the correct answer is option D. Let's look at question number 5. Which measuring devices are most suitable to determine the volume of about 200 ml of liquid and the diameter of a thin wire? To measure the volume of liquid, we'll use a measuring cylinder, and to measure the diameter of a thin wire, we'll use a micrometer screw gauge. So the correct option is option A. A wire is approximately 48 centimeter long and has an approximate diameter of 0.3 millimeters. Which measuring instrument can be used to obtain more precise values of the dimensions of the wire? So here we have to measure what is the length of the wire. So we can use a meter rule, and to measure the diameter we can use a micrometer screw gauge. So let's look at this. So to measure the length of the wire, we need a half meter rule or a meter rule. To measure the diameter of a wire, we'll need a micrometer screw gauge. So the correct option is option C. Let's read the next question. A lump of modeling clay is moved from a small measuring cylinder to a large measuring cylinder that has twice the diameter. The reading on the small measuring cylinder goes down by 20 cm cube. How much does the reading on the large cylinder go up? Now, one thing which we have to keep in mind is that the volume displaced in the measuring beaker will be same as the volume of the object which is completely immersed in the beaker. So if I take this modeling clay out, the volume is being displaced by 20 cm cube. That means the volume of the modeling clay itself is 20 cm cube. So when I immerse that in a large cylinder, the volume of the large cylinder will increase by 20 cm cube, because only the volume of the immersed object will be displaced. So the answer is option B. Let's look at question 8. Which measuring devices are most suitable for determining the length of a swimming pool and the thickness of an aluminum wire? To measure the length of a swimming pool, we can use a measuring tape, and to measure the thickness of an aluminum foil, we can use a micrometer screw gauge. So it would be option B. Let's look at question 9. Very small value of which quantity are measured using a micrometer screw gauge? So the option would be distance. Question 10. What is a micrometer screw gauge used to measure? So it is used to measure very small distances.